have warm and cold variants, so that means they'll spawn in warm and cold biomes. I do have a big savanna next to my house, and so far I'm not seeing any new animals. We might have to search for a little bit. Is that a cold pig? Oh, it's a polar bear. Oh, we found a new one. Look at that. It's the cold cow. Look at this thing. It's so cool. Here is the warm cow, warm pig, and warm chicken. Oh my god. This guy is sick. I think I have my new favorite animal. Anyway, we checked out most of the new ones, so I think it's time we start building these things. I'm so excited. This is gonna look so cool. Step 1 is to head back home. Step 2 is to find a place to build it. And conveniently, I cleared out this whole area earlier, and this is where we're gonna build it. This is kind of what I'm thinking for the plan. Over here on this area, we're gonna have all the pigs. On the backside, we're gonna have all the cows. And then in the middle, since they're the most important, we're gonna have all the chickens. And not only are we gonna be building all 6 new variants today, but I'm also gonna be building the 3 existing variants as well. They're now called the temperate variants. So let's start with those. I think first up, since I love chickens, let's build the temperate chicken. So for that, we're gonna need lots of white wool and a bunch of other white blocks, since the temperate chicken is white. And then for the beak and other things, we're gonna need some red wool, red concrete, black concrete for the eyes, and some yellow concrete and terracotta for the feet. All right, our first chicken will go right here. Here are his little feet, and now for his legs. I think I'm gonna do something like this, slowly gradienting up. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's cross-reference real quick. And yes, see, I'm trying to make that gradient. This one right here. Nice. Now for the body. We just have 2 little legs sticking out of the ground right here. This looks ridiculous. Okay, anyway, now for the body. And here he is, our temperate chicken. Nice. All right, now for the temperate cow and the temperate pig. But just to make sure that we're building everything in its correct spot, I'm next gonna do all the outlines for the other 5 animals in dirt. That way we can make sure we have enough space, and we can also make sure that it looks good. So for that, I'm gonna fill my inventory with dirt. We'll now get started with the outlining. Here is the time lapse. Okay, the dirt outlines are done. Check this out. This is insane. This is gonna be a really big build. As you can tell, I got a little bit lazy with the outlines and started just doing skeletons, but I still think you can get a pretty good idea of what it's gonna look like. So obviously in the center, we have the chickens, there's the pigs, and there's the cows. Anyway, since we're working on the temperate variants right now, let's start with the tempered cow and then move on to the temperate pig. Those are gonna be the middle ones in the cow section and the pig section. So let's get some blocks and we'll start building. All right, we have all of the temperate animals done. I'm using a new time-lapse mod, by the way, so apologies if the time-lapse was a little scuffed. But anyways, check these things out. The cow turned out amazing. It looks exactly like the real thing. It's so good. But the pig, on the other hand, it's not really the best. There's not that many different shades of pink blocks in Minecraft, so this is kind of the best that I could come up with. But I think it still looks fine. I mean, from far away, looks like a pig. But anyway, these guys just standing here definitely look very out of place since there's just grass around them. So I'm thinking next up, we should make some themed biomes around these, as well as some enclosures for the animals that we'll bring in later. But first, let's grab some materials and we'll start working on the temperate biomes first. I'm gonna do all the biomes for the chickens real quick, and I'll show you how that's gonna go. So we'll start with the temperate biome, and it's gonna be very similar to how it already is. It's gonna be lots of grass. But first, let's get a little bit of an outline with some stripped oak logs like this. That will be the outline of our enclosure. I think that's about a good size. Then in the middle, we'll add some oak fences. I'm thinking something like this. I ended up using a lot more trapdoors since I felt it looked better than just fences. This is kind of how it's shaping up to be. I'm using themed wood as well. So you'll notice for the temperate area, I'm using oak. And then I started blending in a bit of wood for the cold area. And for that, I'm going to be using birch. But we're not quite done with the enclosure just yet, since over here, I want to add a big boulder. I want to kind of vary this up a little bit and make it less boring. And I think adding some boulders and stuff would make it look a whole lot better. And look at that. That's a boulder if I've ever seen one. Last step is to add a torch so it doesn't turn into a mob spawner. And there we go. Our boulder. Sick. I also added a mini one over here for the desert area, just to kind of slightly tie it in. I know it looks a little out of place right now, but it'll make sense later. Anyway, that's the enclosure fully done. Now for some details and texturing on the ground. And that's what this podzol, coarse dirt, and packed mud is going to be for. I'm going to make this look just a little bit less bland. So here we go. We just got done with boulder time. Now it's time for dirt time. All right, and dirt time is done. I think it looks fairly decent. We added quite a bit of variation, but now I'm gonna add some more details. So over here on this farmland, I'm gonna add in some wheat crops. When that grows, that will make it look a whole lot better. I'll put some over here as well. And then I'm also thinking I'm gonna add a little bit of oak leaves like this, maybe sprinkle in some composters, perhaps a wall of melons. That could be cool. Let's just do a little bit of detailing like this, and I'll be back once I have it all done. Now it's detailing time. And here it is, our temperate chicken enclosure. I really like how this turned out. It's pretty basic, but I think it looks really good. Now for the other 2 types of biomes. Over here is going to be the warm biome, and over here will be the cold biome. Let's do the warm biome next. This one should be fairly easy. I think what I'm going to do is just recreate a kind of desert biome. So for that, we're going to need some cactuses, or I guess cacti. We'll also need lots of sand, sandstone, and since it's a desert, obviously we're gonna have to add some dead bushes as well. Do I not have this in my storage system? Wait, I don't think I do. Maybe it's in the random blocks area? Here they are, okay. We only have 4. We may have to get more of those, but that's fine. Let's at least start with what we have. Oh wait, I also need the wood types too, because first we're gonna start with all the fencing. I almost forgot. For that, I'm gonna be using spruce wood, since I think it contrasts pretty nicely with this whiter looking sand. So let's grab a bunch of spruce